Next chapter in the subject of perspective management is personality, attitudes, and work behaviors. By analyzing this particular chapter, we will understand the roles of personality and values in determining work behaviors. It will explain the process of perception and how it affects work behaviors. We will be able to identify the major work attitudes that affect work behaviors. We will be able to define the concept of person organization fit and how it affects work behaviors. We will able to list the key set of behaviors that matter for organizational performance, and at the same time we will be able to develop our positive attitude skills. Individuals bring a number of differences to work. They have a variety of personalities, values, and attitudes. When they enter into organizations, their stable or transient characteristics affect how they behave and perform. Moreover, companies hire people with the expectation that they have certain knowledge, skills, abilities, personalities, and values. Recall that you are learning about the principles of management through the planning, organizing, leading, controlling, that is POLC framework. Employees' personalities, attitudes, and work behaviors affect how managers approach each POLC dimension. Here are just a few examples. Number one, when conducting environmental scanning during the planning process, a manager's perception color the information that is absorbed and processed. Second, employee preferences for job design and enrichment may be a function of individuals' personalities and values. Third, leading effectively requires an understanding of employees' personalities, values, and attitudes. And finally, absenteeism can challenge a manager's ability to control cost and performance. Therefore, it is important for manager to understand the individual characteristics that matter for employee and manager behaviors. Number one is personality and values. In the subject of personality, attitudes, and work behavior, number first concept is personality and values. Here we will be identifying the major personality traits that are relevant to organizational behavior. We will explain the potential pitfalls of personality testing. We will describe the relationship between personality and work behaviors. We will understand what values are, and we will describe the link between values and work behaviors. Personality encompasses a person's relatively stable feelings, thoughts, and behavioral patterns. Each of us has a unique personality that differentiates us from other people, and understanding someone's personality gives us clues about how that person is likely to act and feel in a variety of situations. To manage effectively, it is helpful to understand the personalities of different employees. Having this knowledge is also useful for placing people into jobs and organizations. If personality is stable, does this mean that it does not change? You probably remember how you have changed and evolved as a result of your own life experiences, parenting style and attention you have received in early childhood, successes and failures you experienced over the course of your life, and other life events. In fact, personality does change over long periods of time. For example, we tend to become more socially dominant, more consciousness, organized and dependable, and more emotionally stable between the age of 20 and 40, whereas openness to new experiences tend to decline as we age. In other words, even though we treat personality as relatively stable, changes do occur. Moreover, even in childhood, our personality matters and it has lasting consequences for us. For example, studies shows that part of our career success and job satisfaction later in life can be explained by our childhood personality. Is our behavior in organization dependent on our personality? Yes, to some extent. And to some extent, no. While we discuss the effect of personality for employee behavior, you must remember that the relationship we describe are modest correlations. For example, having a sociable and outgoing personality may encourage people to seek friends and prefer social situations. This does not mean that their personality will immediately affect their work behavior. At work, we have a job to do and a role to perform. Therefore, our behavior may be more strongly affected by what is expected of us. Therefore, our behavior may be strongly affected by what is expected of us as opposed to how we want to behave, especially in jobs that involve a lot of autonomy or freedom. Personality tends to exert a strong influence on work behavior. Something to consider when engaging in organizing activities such as job design or enrichment. Let us now see the big five personality traits. How many personality traits are there? How do we even know? In every language, there are many words describing a person's personality. In fact, in the English language, more than 15,000 words describes personality that have been identified. When researchers analyzed the traits describing personality characteristics, they realized that many different words were actually pointing to a single dimension of personality. When these words were grouped, five dimensions seem to emerge, and this explains much of the variation in our personalities. These five are not necessarily the only trait out there. There are other specific traits that represent other dimensions not captured by the big five. Still, understanding them gives a good start for describing personality.